Ah, ice cream and all its frozen cousins. That cold, creamy spoonful on a summer night. The cheesecake you pull from the freezer when guests are on the way. The pint that waits in your freezer for the kind of evening when only sweetness can fix your mood. For many of us, frozen desserts aren't just food. They're comfort, nostalgia, and little moments of celebration. But here's the twist. Some of the most familiar brands have serious safety records, including contamination recalls linked to deaths. Others? They just melt into unrecognizable soupy messes the moment you serve them. Today, we're breaking down 5 frozen desserts to skip and 2 that are actually safe. Stick around till the end. One of those safe ones might already be in your freezer. Number 5. Sara Lee Pumpkin Pie. Picture this. It's Thanksgiving morning. Guests are on their way. You're feeling smart for buying a frozen pie instead of stressing over homemade baking. Pop it in the oven, wait an hour, dessert, done. Except it's not. You pull it out, let it cool, slice into it, and a wave of orange liquid floods the plate. The crust has turned to mush, the fillings half soup, half regret. You're not alone. Scroll through online reviews on Walmart, Amazon, or Target, and you'll see hundreds of the same complaints. Pies that collapsed, leaked, or refused to set no matter how carefully they were baked. People even gave it a nickname, soup in a pie. Here's the science. Pumpkin pie is delicate chemistry. Eggs, cream, sugar, and pumpkin all have to bake and firm at just the right balance. Change one ratio and the whole thing falls apart. And Sara Lee? They changed something. The proof is in their own instructions. Bake for over an hour, use a sheet pan to catch drips, check the internal temperature, and cool for 2 hours before slicing. That's not a baking guide, that's a warning label in disguise. Every small variable, a slightly warm freezer, a delivery delay, or an oven that's 5 degrees off, can push this fragile formula over the edge. The result? Soggy crust, runny filling, and a dessert that ruins your dinner table moment. Food critics have ranked it among Sara Lee's worst products. Blogs and reviewers have called it a holiday heartbreak. Even those few lucky ones whose pies did set said the flavor leaned harsh. Too much clove and nutmeg, barely any pumpkin. In short, this pie won't make you sick, but it might ruin your celebration. Save yourself the embarrassment. Buy a bakery pie you can actually see, or try a no-bake pumpkin cheesecake that doesn't come with a meltdown warning. Ever tried to pass off a dessert disaster as rustic? Be honest, what excuse did you give your guests? Number 4. Trader Joe's Frozen Lemon Bars. Trader Joe's has a serious fan club, and for good reason. The store is full of fun, affordable finds that feel fancy without breaking the bank. But every brand has its misses, and these frozen lemon bars are one of them. In blind taste tests and food rankings, they consistently land near the bottom of Trader Joe's dessert list. Testers called them too eggy, chemically flavored, and imbalanced. Translation: they taste weird. The problem? Everything's out of sync. The lemon layer is heavy on eggs and light on actual lemon, leaving a custardy texture that reminds people of scrambled eggs more than citrus curd. The crust is so thin it's almost invisible, more like compressed cookie dust than shortbread. Then there's that aftertaste. Across Reddit threads and reviews, customers describe a strange pine sol or cleaning solution flavor, sharp, piney, and chemical. When dozens of people report the same taste from different stores and batches, that's not a fluke, that's a formula issue. A good lemon bar should sing with brightness, tart, buttery, crisp. This one whispers, "Why does my dessert taste like soap?" Even die-hard Trader Joe's fans have admitted defeat on this one. Some try freezing, thawing, or baking them again to fix the flavor, but the result never matches what a lemon bar should be. Clean, zesty joy in 2 bites. So unless you like dessert that smells like your cleaning cabinet, skip these entirely. That strange flavor you taste? It often comes from oxidized citrus oils, aging ingredients, or packaging reactions that happen while frozen desserts sit in storage for too long. Sometimes it's just one bad batch. Other times, it's a sign that the recipe itself is unstable. Something in the formula breaks down before it ever reaches your spoon. Trader Joe's sells these lemon bars as cute, single-serve treats, but customers say the reality is different. The bars are tiny, more like a sample than dessert. And when you finally take that small bite, you're met with a dull, chemical aftertaste instead of the bright, tangy lemon flavor you expected. You're left wondering why you didn't just grab a box from a real bakery or make a fresh batch at home. The most frustrating part? The fan loyalty. Trader Joe's shoppers are famously devoted, sometimes to a fault. Online, you'll find people defending even the worst products, blaming user error or bad luck instead of admitting that maybe, just maybe, the dessert just isn't good. But when professional testers, everyday shoppers, and die-hard fans all complain about the same thing, it's not the customers, it's the product. And for seniors, that disappointment hits harder. When someone only eats a few bites at a time, every bite counts. A dessert that tastes off isn't just wasted money, it's lost joy. That's one more small pleasure gone from the day. If you truly want a good lemon bar, skip the freezer aisle. A fresh bakery bar or a quick homemade batch with real lemon juice, butter, and eggs will taste 10 times better and cost less. Lemon bars take less than an hour to make, and you'll never have to worry about a chemical aftertaste again. So, Trader Joe's fans, be honest. What's one product from there you just can't defend anymore? Drop it in the comments. Number 3. Blue Bell Ice Cream. Blue Bell is one of those brands that sells nostalgia. The marketing paints a picture of small-town Texas charm, family recipes, happy cows, and old-fashioned goodness. But behind that friendly image lies one of the most serious ice cream contamination scandals in U.S. history. Back in 2015, Blue Bell was linked to a listeria outbreak that killed 3 people and hospitalized several others. Federal inspectors later discovered listeria in both the company's factories and products that had already been shipped to stores. The company eventually pleaded guilty to distributing contaminated ice cream and paid more than $17 million in criminal fines, one of the largest penalties ever for a food safety case. Court documents revealed something even worse. Blue Bell kept shipping ice cream after learning there was a contamination risk. That's not a rumor, it's on the legal record. Real families lost loved ones because production didn't stop when it should have. After the shutdown, Blue Bell promised it had fixed everything. It cleaned up, restructured, and came back to shelves. And many loyal customers welcomed it back. But here's the thing about food safety. Once a company proves it's willing to gamble with public health, that trust never fully returns. And the problems didn't end there. In August 2025, Blue Bell issued another recall, this time for mislabeled half-gallon containers. Some flavors were accidentally packaged with lids from different products that contained tree nuts. For someone with a severe allergy, that kind of mistake could mean anaphylaxis or worse. Different problem, same root cause: wheat quality control. For healthy adults, a Blue Bell cone might not cause any trouble. But for seniors, pregnant women, people with cancer, or anyone with a weak immune system, listeria isn't just food poisoning. It's a serious infection that can lead to hospitalization or death. So yes, Blue Bell is back. But when a company's past failure caused fatalities and newer recalls still show safety gaps, it's smart to think twice before serving it to vulnerable people. This isn't about holding a grudge, it's about protecting the people you love. If you're shopping for ice cream for an elderly parent, someone recovering from illness, or anyone with a fragile immune system, it's worth choosing a brand with a spotless safety record. Bluebell fans swear by the flavor and believe the company has turned a corner, and maybe that's true. But great taste doesn't matter much if the product could make someone sick. No amount of rebranding can undo what happened. 3 lives lost and clear evidence that management ignored contamination warnings and kept shipping products anyway. If you're healthy and love Bluebell, that's your call. But caregivers should stick to brands that have never faced deadly outbreaks. There are plenty of ice creams that taste just as rich and creamy without the baggage of a safety scandal. Don't risk your freezer space or your family's health for nostalgia. Would you ever trust a brand again after a deadly outbreak? Or is that a deal breaker forever? Drop your thoughts below. 2. Taste of Inspirations Chocolate Lava Cake. Taste of Inspirations, Hannaford's in-house restaurant-quality dessert line, promises you can enjoy a perfect chocolate lava cake in minutes. A box shows a flawless molten center spilling out onto a white plate. Just heat, flip, and enjoy. Sounds simple, right? The reality is far messier. Reviews tell the same story again and again. The cake sticks to the plastic container, breaks apart when you try to remove it, or refuses to release at all. The molten center often stays solid, and when it does melt, it sinks to the bottom instead of flowing out. Worse, the plastic tub gets dangerously hot, so people end up with burned fingers and a ruined dessert. And even if you somehow get the cake onto a plate in one piece, the taste often disappoints. Too sugary, flat, and missing that rich cocoa depth a real lava cake should have. The problem isn't the users, it's the design. Microwaves heat unevenly, so a one-size-fits-all instruction like 70 seconds just doesn't work. Combine that with cheap plastic packaging, and the result is chaos. People online have tried everything, changing heat times, transferring the cake to different containers, even microwaving it half-covered. Nothing works consistently. When a convenience dessert needs that much trial and error, it stops being convenient. And for seniors or anyone with limited hand strength, it's not just frustrating, it's risky. A hot, sticky container can cause burns, and crumbled cake bits can be a choking hazard. That's the opposite of a safe, easy treat. Most private label frozen desserts fail for the same reason. They're mass-produced by third-party factories using the cheapest possible ingredients and generic formulas. There's little quality control, so even a premium label can end up delivering discount results. If you crave chocolate lava cake, bake one in the oven or whip up a quick homemade version in a ramekin. You'll get better flavor, safer handling, and actual satisfaction. Microwave lava cakes from store brands? They're more likely to end up in the trash than on your dessert plate. So tell us, what's your biggest frozen dessert fail? A cake that welded itself to the container, plastic that melted, or something even worse? 1. Great Value Whipped Cheesecake. If there's one frozen dessert that sums up everything wrong with bargain brand sweets, it's Walmart's Great Value Whipped Cheesecake. This isn't just an average, forgettable treat, it's a full-on disaster that's earned a reputation among shoppers for being nearly inedible. The biggest issue? Structure. A real cheesecake needs 3 things: a creamy, dense filling that holds its shape, a crust with crunch and flavor, and balance so it doesn't turn soggy when thawed. Great Value's version misses all 3. The filling isn't real cheesecake. It's a whipped dairy mousse with a faint hint of cream cheese. That airy texture collapses as it thaws, leaving a thick, slimy puddle at the bottom of the container. Many buyers say the sight alone is enough to toss the whole thing before even taking a bite. And then there's the crust, if you can call it that. Instead of a buttery graham cracker base, you get something reviewers describe as rock hard or cement-like. It doesn't soften, even after sitting out, so you end up with a soggy, collapsing top and a crust that's too tough to cut through. The result? A weird mix of mush and crunch that no one enjoys. This isn't just one unlucky batch, it's a consistent pattern. Reviewers across Walmart's own site, food blogs, and social media all describe the same failure: watery filling, ruined crust, and total regret. Tasting Table even ranked it among the worst frozen desserts on shelves. When more than half of your reviews are one-star complaints about the same issue, it's not bad luck, it's bad design. For caregivers or families trying to serve seniors with small appetites, that kind of failure stings. A disappointing dessert means wasted calories, lost enjoyment, and a person who may refuse sweets altogether next time. For someone who looks forward to a small indulgence after dinner, that's a bigger loss than it seems. And beyond taste, there's a trust problem. Great value is supposed to mean affordability and reliability, the idea that you can save money without sacrificing quality. But when a $6 cheesecake ends up in the trash, that's not saving, that's wasting both time and money. If you're craving cheesecake, go for one from a local bakery or a brand known for consistency. Or make one at home. Even the simplest no-bake version will taste miles better. Whatever you do, skip Great Value's whipped cheesecake. It's the dessert equivalent of serving something already spoiled. Have you ever brought a store-bought dessert that backfired and killed everyone's appetite? Share your story below. After walking through products tied to contamination scares, thaw and fail desserts, and frozen pies that never set right, you might wonder if there's anything in the freezer aisle worth trusting. Good news, there is. A few classics actually deliver what they promise: real ingredients, consistent texture, and flavor that satisfies without the gamble. Safe Pick 1: Klondike Original Ice Cream Bar. If the frozen dessert aisle had a Hall of Fame, Klondike would be right at the entrance. The original Klondike bar hasn't changed much in decades. Creamy vanilla ice cream wrapped in a thin chocolate shell, individually sealed in that iconic silver foil. It's simple, nostalgic, and dependable. And that's exactly why it earns a safe spot. Klondike doesn't try to be fancy, handcrafted, or loaded with trendy buzzwords. It's straightforward comfort done right, ice cream and chocolate that deliver every single time. The Klondike bar isn't just a frozen treat, it's a masterclass in reliability. That thin chocolate shell cracks with the perfect snap when you bite in, but never feels waxy or fake the way cheap chocolate coatings often do. Inside, the vanilla ice cream is soft, light, and creamy, formulated to stay scoopable straight from the freezer, no waiting required. Each bar is portioned and predictable, roughly 250 calories, 14 grams of fat, and about 60 milligrams of sodium. No guesswork, no hidden surprises. For caregivers or anyone watching sugar or fat intake, that kind of consistency makes life easier. One bar equals one serving, plain and simple, unlike a pint where just one scoop turns into half the container. Klondike also gives you options, from mini bars and sugar-free versions to new coatings and flavors, all without compromising quality. And since it's produced at large scale by Unilever, every batch goes through standardized safety and freezing controls that keep the product uniform and low risk. Big brands aren't perfect, but when it comes to frozen treats, that kind of scale means dependable results. Klondike doesn't need to act fancy or reinvent itself. It's dependable, portion-controlled, and tastes exactly the way you remember, every single time you unwrap the foil. In a world full of failed frozen desserts, that kind of consistency is worth celebrating. What's your Klondike memory? A childhood summer treat? Or a guilty pleasure you still sneak into your freezer? Safe Pick 2: Aldi's Specially Selected Super Premium Vanilla Ice Cream. If you need proof that good ice cream doesn't have to come with a luxury price tag, just grab a pint of Aldi's Specially Selected Super Premium Vanilla Ice Cream. It's the kind of find that makes even self-proclaimed ice cream snobs double-check the label, because it tastes like it should cost twice as much. The ingredient list reads like a recipe, not a science experiment. Cream, skim milk, sugar, egg yolks, and real vanilla extract. No gums, no stabilizers, no unpronounceable additives. It's the same formula you'd find in a $7 pint from a boutique brand, except here it's about half the price. Texture is where Aldi's ice cream really shines. Its higher butterfat content gives it that ultra-creamy, slow-melting richness that coats your tongue instead of vanishing instantly. Fans online, from Reddit to food blogs, call it shockingly good, often comparing it to premium brands like Haagen-Dazs or Ben & Jerry's. That richness isn't just about taste either. For seniors or anyone with low appetite, dense, high-fat ice cream provides more calories and satisfaction per spoonful. When every bite counts, quality and creaminess genuinely matter. Aldi's small-scale supplier network helps keep the product consistent and fresh. Fast inventory turnover means the pints don't sit for months in unstable freezer conditions. And tighter sourcing means fewer surprise recipe changes, a problem that plagues bigger grocery brands. And the super premium label here isn't marketing fluff. It's an actual classification based on butterfat and density. Aldi earns it fair and square, delivering gourmet texture at a price real families can afford. If you're trying to balance quality with cost, this is one of the smartest freezer buys you'll ever make. Aldi's vanilla proves you can have clean ingredients, rich flavor, and real satisfaction without emptying your wallet. So, what matters more to you, premium flavor or premium price? Where do you draw the line? Final scoop: what we learned. We've covered 5 frozen desserts that collapse, curdle, or carry safety issues, and 2 that actually deliver on their promises. Here's the takeaway. Frozen desserts aren't the enemy, but a lot of brands are betting you won't look too closely. They rely on nostalgia and convenience to keep you buying products that don't do their one simple job: to taste great and hold together. A little awareness goes a long way. Check reviews before you buy, especially for store brand or private label products. Stick with brands that have a clean safety record, and don't give second chances to ones that fail you. There are plenty of better options waiting in the same aisle. If this opened your eyes, make sure to subscribe. We're diving next into frozen meals, snack foods, and grocery myths that quietly drain your money and trust. Now tell us, which frozen dessert are you giving up for good? And which one surprised you the most? Thanks for reading. Stay sharp, eat smart, and shop like someone who knows what's really in the freezer.